Redneck Snacking Food. Nope, caught myself. Welcome back to Redneck Snack. Yes, we're all full of mistakes, and I am not editing that out, and I'm not redoing this review. I rebranded the Redneck Snack, and it's a learning process. I go through these things. Everyone goes through these things. Back to the theme of the learning process. Hampton Crumbl still has not opened. So Crumbl, I know you're watching. This is early on, so you're still paying attention. Can you tell me when that's opening? Or, just message me, or even just drop in the comments when that Hampton location is tentatively opening, because I'm concerned. I know that when y'all say things are opening in a month, within the month, that it could be a couple weeks later, but we're already at the end of the month here. We're already at August 30th, well 31st when I upload this, and I'm still not seeing that Hampton location up there. And I know typically you put it up there, or put a location up there 10.5 days in advance, so I'm quite concerned, very concerned at the very least. So yeah, I think my next review will be in the Outer Banks, which is kind of a sigh of relief, because I'm kind of just tired of going here at 5 o'clock. It's a newer place, so A, they're running low on supplies for today, and B, they're still got that learning curve. And as I said, I think they're getting better. These cookies are a little bit bigger, but they the presentation a little sloppy, and only one of them really looks like it's, meets the typical standards of a Crumbl cookie, and that would be the Galaxy Brownie. So that's one most people are excited about. But the cookie dough just doesn't look like it has enough pieces of cookie dough on it, so I'm a little disappointed on that. Probably should have just been like, they asked you, does it look good? And most people don't say anything, and I didn't say anything. But if I would have just gotten a bigger glance at the cookie dough one, I would have probably said, hey, could you just put a little bit more cookie dough on there? But you'll get to see. The oatmeal just does not look like a very good shape. Neither does the pumpkin. It looks kind of like it slopes out, and like it gets flatter on the edges. So that's really weird. But I'm just being nitpicky. We're all about, we're not, I love presentation. Presentation is just a big thing to me. So I don't typically like punish anyone in terms of rating for presentation. But I am looking at these, and I am kind of, a little bit dissatisfied, but is what it is. It's about the flavor. If they meet the quality standards in terms of taste, it's not so much of a letdown. But we're going to go ahead and jump on into this, because I don't want to waste your time, and I know you don't want your time wasted. So please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hopefully this video gets some views. I had a Taco Bell video that I thought was going to get some good views, but it is straggling along, so I really would love your support here. Please like, comment, and share. Anything will help this video get out. And check out my Instagram, Redneck Snack. Again, it's no longer Redneck Snacking Food. It is now Redneck Snack, where I post a lot of good snacks. I post about the foods. You'll get a good picture of these Crumbl cookies on my Instagram. On here, you just see what I'm showing you, so you get a better look at everything. And I just really recommend it. So with that being said, hopefully none of these cookies fall out. There is a potential because of how oddly shaped they are this time around, and a couple of them are bigger, so it's going to be harder for them to stay in. But we'll try and tilt it, and that actually looks good. There you go. So 2 new cookies. I really just wish they would just do 1 new cookie a week, unless they're doing 5 at a time. I really just wish they would do 1. Just in my perspective, I want to be able to try, just like you, I want to be able to try everything they've done, all these flavors that they've done in the past. I've still got almost 100 to try from those, and so just getting 2 new ones to try, like that aren't brand new, I'm kind of sad. I kind of want to be able to try 3. Maybe I'm not going to get to try 4 a week, more than likely, unless they do 5 and 1 new one. But I really want to catch up, and it's hard to catch up. I love that they're doing a new flavor each week, but it's just harder to catch up that way. So hopefully for their New Year's resolution, it's like, okay, we've done great, but let's just kick it back a little bit, focus on improving the things that aren't as good, and keep reeling out those favorites. We need that. So yeah, I showed you the cookies. I'm gonna get a napkin here because I know I can't cut the cookie or eat it or anything within the box. And we'll go one by one. It looks like it's lined up nicely, so I'm gonna start with the cookie dough. I guess I'll move on to, we'll go with the cosmic brownie next, even though it's not new like the classic oatmeal. Still is one that people would probably prefer. And then we'll end off with the pumpkin caramel. So I was kind of hoping that they would do pumpkin chocolate chip this week, but we got pumpkin caramel, so we'll have to wait for another week for that. But they've done about at least 6 different pumpkin flavors over their lifespan, and so we'll see if they got something new. I'm sure they got something new with pumpkin in the works. But I've been following the Reddit trends, and I'm not gonna speak to what's coming. But there has been some leaks on Reddit, and they are trying to do damage control from that, and they don't want people knowing. And I understand. And then they're trying to change up the menu, and people are like, "Why are you raising your prices?" Well, you raise your prices because if you're screwing up their plans, they're planning based on these supplies that are less expensive, so they got to change that last minute. You kind of that's a change in price. So I think that's one of the things. Just they're getting more extravagant. A lot of people want them to be more simple these days, which I understand. That's my call to action to them. Also, it's just be a little bit more simple. You don't have to bring out new flavors every week. We got over 100. I still got almost 100 to try. Just stick with those. I think a new flavor every month or so, that works. But a new flavor every week is a bit overkill, That's just my call. But again, I don't know how far ahead you plan, but I think just stick to what you said. Do it for the rest of the year. I think kick it back a bit. There will be a time for new things, but it is what it is. So I got off my soapbox there. I know that was a long talk. I apologize, but if you really care about the review, you can just skip along. So, don't want this box falling. That might be an issue. Jeez, I hate this. I just hate being in a car. This is what I like about just having people to review with and being around the house. Anyways, ooh, that's got a little slice in it. Oh well. So there's the cookie dough cookie. Of course, I do wish there was more cookie dough on it, but what can I say? As long as the whole cookie tastes pretty much like cookie dough, I'll be pleased. Like, I'm excited just the fact that it's like a brown sugar cookie base, and then that this icing is kind of like a cookie dough infused icing, buttercream icing. They need to do more buttercream. I like their cream cheese icing, but for a lot of things, they need to do more buttercream. So let's quit rambling on and let's start eating. So you have to see that cookie. Got my famous knife, or infamous. I don't really know what to call it anymore. And I'm cutting a very sloppy piece of this, not even like a fourth, because I want to get those 2 cookie dough pieces on top. I'm just excited about that. So let's go ahead and try this out. Okay. So there's cookie dough in the icing too. So I'm not so disappointed. So scratch what I said for the presentation for this one. I think it did well. I think this one did super well. Even that base is just absolutely delicious. I can see a bright future for this. I could see some new flavors integrating this. It is delicious. This thing has cookie dough written all over it. It is honestly one of my favorites I've had from this place. It is just down to the bone, just so sugary, but not overly sugary. You got good notes of brown sugar. I love it. I actually really love this cookie. it would be hard for me not to give it a 10. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it a 10. Just the way it just replicates cookie dough. I might have to get another one when I go down to OBX. Might have to do that on Saturday. That's a good cookie. That is really good, because I want to share these. I haven't been sharing. I've been hogging. If you can see, I've gotten a little fatter from it. But that is so good. I'm gonna give it a 10 without a doubt. That is one of my favorites I've had. And just remind you, what I loved the chocolate cake, and then the Kit Kat one they had a couple months ago. Those were the two I really remember as being my favorites. That one's definitely up there with them. So moving on, this one's kind of falling apart. It's a nice hot cookie. It's pretty much like a brownie based cookie with chocolate icing on it, and then, you know, those rainbow morsels. It's the Galaxy, I guess Galaxy brownie. They can't do cosmic brownie anymore because Little Debbie's probably trying to sue them. All these companies with, you know, I don't get that, you know. Yes, you know, you could argue that, hey, they're selling something with our name on it, so it's kind of taking away from ourselves. But then again, they're just free advertising. Like, you know, they might, if you don't have a Crumbl around you and they're advertising this cosmic brownie, you know, cookie, you know, someone might be like, oh, I don't have that. Well, I guess I'll go get me some cosmic brownies. You know, you don't think about those things. So I don't know. I don't know. But I hadn't tried it before, and I'm excited to try it. You know what I do want? I want that molten lava. I want to try that molten lava. You know, you've done this twice since that came out. February 27th is the last time you've done molten lava? Come on. I know, because I literally stalked through every post just to see what flavors I haven't tried. And I made a list. So I've got a list of what I haven't tried, Crumbl. If you want to talk to me, we can talk about what I haven't tried. I know for sure what I haven't. All right, I'll stop rambling on. This one has some good potential. We'll see if I like it as much as a chocolate cupcake. Probably not, because it's not got chocolate chips or anything in it. But I think I'm gonna love it. So let's give it a try. That is melt in your mouth. Like, to the point where you don't, yeah, the morsels are not very crunchy or noticeable. That is a downfall for it. I just wish you had that crunch of them, but it's not a major downfall. Probably 0.5. You know, that's not a big loss for it. It's a very darker, it's a darker chocolate flavor. I've had things from Crumbl that taste more like brownie than this does to me. Okay. I got a little more brownie on that, but I can't really quite parallel it to, you know, the cosmic brownie like I did with that Hostess cookie last week. That Hostess cookie tasted exactly like a Hostess cupcake because of that icing and everything. This is good. I wouldn't say I love it. I'm gonna give it an 8. If the pieces on top were crunchier, I would give it an 8.5. If it tasted a lot more like cosmic brownie, that would definitely probably put it at a 10. But it just isn't there with it. I might even say it's a 7.5. That might be fair. 7.5. That's what I'm wrong with, because it would be an 8. It'd be good, but those pieces on top just not quite crunchy enough. So I guess an 8. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. I mean, a 9. A 7.5. It gets a 7.5. Don't get mixed up. 7.5, folks. It's a good flavor, but I can't say I love it, you know? I don't love it. Just like with that Oreo one last week, I didn't love that. So, here's the weird looking cookie. I mean, typically these things are round, but you can see how weird that is. Like an egg with a little deformity on the side. So I think I might just cut that deformity off and that be what I eat. But this is an oatmeal cookie, nothing in it. Intriguing for sure, because you get the oatmeal without anything else. So I really want to see what this has to offer. I'm sure it's great, but I'm sure it's also strange. But it's not unattractive like a oatmeal raisin, which they haven't done in forever either. It's not been as long as since we got the molten lava, but you know. So let's go ahead and try this out. I wish it was sweeter. It reminds me of an oaty and less buttery Kentucky butter cake. And this is why they make oatmeal raisin and oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, my friend. It's because it just doesn't inspire a lot of joy or anything. This has been the least exciting cookie I've actually had from Crumbl. Like, I'm legitimately going to go home and A, either pour syrup on it, or B, pour some chocolate, some chocolate syrup, something. It's kind of dry. It's not very sweet. There's not a lot I can say that I love about this. Like, it's dense and it's oaty, so it's got a little bit of a good crunch, but it just doesn't inspire me. And I know it's nothing this particular location has done, anything like that. Just because it looks wonky don't mean it tastes different. It's just, I just don't think oatmeal belongs alone. Like, I appreciate the effort here, but they did an ice oatmeal not long ago, and I didn't get to try that. But again, that's another thing. That's iced. It's got this nice sugary coating. I don't know. This kind of reminds me of trying to eat a bowl of oatmeal. This does have a little bit more sweetness than that, but it just doesn't inspire a lot. So I don't typically give out anything lower than a 5. Because a lot of things are typically okay, or you know. But I'm gonna have to say this is doesn't inspire a lot. I'll give it a 4. I'll be fair there. I don't want to go any lower. It's not intolerable. It's not disgusting, but it just isn't anything that I love. So that's probably one of the lower ranked Crumbl cookies I've had ever. We'll see how much that differs from other people. I'm sure no one's ever going to rank it at 4. I mean, you hate to say that, but that's just my opinion on it. It's a 4. It's just kind of bland. Sorry, Crumbl. I'm not hating on you. I'm always loving you. I mean, I just ranked the cookie at 10. You know how often that happens? Barely. Okay, so someone had this issue from the Reddit thread I was reading earlier, where their cookie was soggy and got stuck to the bottom of, the box. This is exactly what it's done. I can feel it. It got stuck. So it's going to fall apart if I show it off any differently. But there it is. My thing is, it's not a location's fault. That's just how pumpkin is. So if you're watching this and you haven't been to Crumbl yet, some of you probably have, but some of you probably haven't. I'm going to explain to you real quick. And you probably don't want to hear it because you're probably tired of hearing me. But I'm going to explain it. It's a pumpkin cookie. Pumpkin just is different. The way it kind of just mixes into something. It's a dense, very soft, mushy type of texture. You know what happens when you carve a pumpkin? Well, you know what a pumpkin pie is like. It's just a kind of a weird ingredient to kind of integrate into something. Like, I've had pumpkin muffins. They're great. I love pumpkin, and I don't mean to ramble on here, but I love them, and they're delicious. But the problem is, you know, they're a different texture. You know, they're stickier. And so you'll have this issue. So I don't get upset if it gets stuck to your box. I would say, as a recommendation to Crumbl, do you start using those, they've used them before. They have those little paper, what are those things called? Wax paper. They have those for their individual boxes. I would just recommend they start doing that under the cookie, just so it's not stuck to the box. At least it's stuck to the paper. But I don't know how much that's going to save the cookie. Of course, my cookie's still intact. It's just a little weird. But yeah, this is the one that's kind of got wonky texture. And then like the icing is kind of, you know, messed up. But I'm going to try and cut it a little bit. They did integrate cream cheese again. They call this a caramel pumpkin flavor. But my thing is, again, it's like, I just don't think I'm going to taste a lot of caramel. Of course, cream cheese and pumpkin sounds divine. But, you know, they're saying, hey, you know, it's a cream cheese pumpkin, so, they're saying caramel pumpkin, so, you know. Anyways, I keep thinking, oh, this might have chocolate chips in it, but it doesn't. So let's go ahead and eat it, and we'll wrap up this review. I know you're tired of me by now. Yeah, that is a lot of pumpkin flavor. Very dense. It's a different texture. It's definitely a different flavor than your usual, you know, cookie. I do think I get a lot more caramel flavor in here than I expected. You know, I was thinking, hey, the cream cheese is really going to take over. And you do get a good amount of cream cheese. But I think the caramel is kind of doing a lot better than that dulce de leche snickerdoodle cookie I had. I just think I'm having a better time with this. I think it all balances nicely. You know what I can tell you is I'm probably going to love the chocolate chip one, the chocolate chip pumpkin. But this does well. Other than it falling apart, I really enjoy this one. Would it be something I say I'm absolutely in love with? No. But compared to the cosmic brownie and the oatmeal one, heck yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more. So it kind of bears the question, what do I rank it? I'm gonna cut around it and eat a little bit more. I want to keep enjoying this pumpkin part of it. I'm thinking somewhere around an 8.5, a 9. I think that's a fair assessment. Just because the icing is a bit rich, but it does go nicely with the pumpkin, and so it's not overly forward on the cream cheese. It does add that element of sweetness, like a pumpkin flavored cookie's not overly sweet. It's more, you know, towards that spice level, that pumpkin spice level there. But it's a nice homely cookie. It's enjoyable, and it's right at home. So definitely my second favorite cookie of the week. I'll go with like an 8.5. And I'm gonna like the other pumpkins a lot more, because you got like an Oreo one, you got chocolate chip, you got pumpkin pie. So I think I'm gonna like those more. Maybe not the pumpkin pie, we'll see. But overall, I thought this week was okay. And I preferred last week. Some people didn't like it, others liked it better. But I thought last week was really good. This was a nice introduction into fall with the pumpkin and oatmeal. And then I really liked that they had the cosmic brownie, or galaxy brownie, and then the cookie dough, one of my favorites ever. So yeah, I went on a little too long, just rambled on, sat on my soapbox, but we got this done. So I mean, like, again, even though presentation wasn't quite spot on, the cookies were bigger this time, and they tasted fine. They tasted accurate. Well, more than fine. A couple of them were phenomenal. But yeah, I'm ready to see. Well, I already kind of know what's coming next week, but I'm ready for next week. And I'm happy that it will be in Outer Banks. Get to change it up, and they're seasoned veterans over there, so they know what they're doing. They've been working there. It's been a busy summer for them. One more weekend, guys. One more weekend, and you guys are, it's gonna be a lot slower. So I kind of wish I lived down there, because then I'd be hogging all the cookies. Anyways, that's my review. I'm sticking to it, and I will see y'all around. Yeah.